The champagne in my glass hadn't even gone flat when my entire world shattered. I stood there in my navy cocktail dress, watching my fiancé of 3 years kiss my cousin against the kitchen counter of what was supposed to be our engagement party. My name is Daphne, and this is how I learned that happiness can turn to ash in your mouth faster than you can say, "I trusted you." "Oh my God," I whispered, the glass slipping from my fingers. The crash drew their attention, and Gunnar jumped away from Olivia like he'd been burned. The look on his face, guilt mixed with relief, told me everything I needed to know. "Daphne, wait," Gunnar called out as I turned to leave. "It's not what you think." "Really?" I spun around, my voice steadier than I felt. "Because it looks like you were just making out with my cousin at our engagement party." Olivia didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. She just stood there, straightening her red dress, a slight smirk playing at the corners of her mouth. The same mouth I'd just watched pressed against my fiancé's. "Someone had to show him what he was missing," Olivia said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "You can't honestly think you were enough for him, Daphne." The party chatter from the living room seemed to fade away as blood rushed to my ears. Elise, my best friend, appeared in the doorway, probably wondering where I'd disappeared to. "What's going on?" she asked, taking in the scene, the broken glass, my trembling hands, Gunnar's guilty face, and Olivia's triumphant smile. "Ask them," I managed to say. "They seem to have it all figured out." Gunnar stepped forward, reaching for my arm. "Daphne, please. We need to talk about this." I jerked away from his touch. "Talk about what? How long has this been going on?" The silence that followed was answer enough. "Daph," Olivia said, using the nickname she knew I hated. "You should thank me, really. Better to find out now than after the wedding, right?" Elise moved to stand between us. "You need to leave, both of you, now." "It's my house too," Gunnar protested weakly. I laughed, the sound hollow and strange. "Not anymore, it's not. I'll have my things out by tomorrow." "Don't be dramatic," Olivia sighed. "We all knew this would happen eventually. Gunnar and I, we just connect on a different level." The party guests had gone quiet, and I realized we had an audience. Austin, our family friend, appeared in the doorway, concern etched on his face. "What's going on here?" he asked, though his expression suggested he already knew. "Just the death of a relationship," I said, pulling the engagement ring off my finger. "And a family bond." I placed the ring on the counter, the diamond catching the light one last time. "Congratulations, Olivia. I hope you're happy with my leftovers." Gunnar flinched. "Daphne, that's not fair." "Fair?" I cut him off. "Was it fair when you were sneaking around with my cousin? Was it fair when you let me plan this party, knowing you were going to humiliate me?" Ava, my other bridesmaid, pushed through the crowd and grabbed my hand. "Come on, Daphne, let's get out of here." As we moved toward the door, Olivia called out, "Don't worry, cousin. I'll take good care of him." I stopped, turned, and met her eyes. "You know what, Olivia? You two deserve each other." The night air hit my face as we stepped outside, and I finally let the tears fall. Elise and Ava flanked me, their presence the only thing keeping me upright. "My car's around the corner," Elise said softly. "You're staying with me tonight." "I can't believe they would do this," Ava muttered, her arm around my waist. I wiped my eyes, smearing mascara across my cheeks. "I can. Olivia's always wanted what I have. I just never thought Gunnar would—" "He's an idiot," Elise declared. "And she's a snake. You're better off without both of them." As we drove away from the house I'd shared with Gunnar, I watched our engagement party dissolve into chaos in the rearview mirror. My phone buzzed with messages, probably from Gunnar, maybe from Olivia, definitely from concerned guests, but I ignored them all. "I'm going to be okay," I said, more to myself than to my friends. "Of course you are," Ava replied firmly. "You're the strongest person we know." Looking out the window at the city lights blurring past, I made a silent promise to myself. I would rebuild my life, piece by piece, and I would do it without letting bitterness consume me. Gunnar and Olivia might have taken my trust, my love, and my family peace, but they wouldn't take my future, not if I had anything to say about it. 2 years can change everything. I realized this as I stood in front of my office building, coffee in hand, actually looking forward to the day ahead. The morning sun felt different now, warmer, more promising. "There's my favorite editor," Elise called out, crossing the street to meet me. "Ready for the pitch meeting?" "Born ready," I replied, pushing through the revolving doors. "The new lifestyle section is going to be amazing." The elevator ride to the 14th floor gave me a moment to appreciate how far I'd come. After the engagement disaster, I'd thrown myself into work, climbing from junior editor to department head in record time. "Did you hear about Gunnar?" Elise asked hesitantly as we stepped into the hallway. My stomach didn't drop at his name anymore. Progress. "No, what about him?" "Olivia posted their breakup all over social media. Apparently, she caught him texting his ex." I couldn't help but laugh. "Karma's a patient lady." The conference room was already filling up when we arrived. I took my usual seat, spreading out my notes, when an unfamiliar voice caught my attention. "Is this seat taken?" I looked up to find myself staring into the warmest brown eyes I'd ever seen. The man attached to them wasn't hard on the eyes either. "It's all yours," I managed, moving my bag. "I'm Elliot," he said, settling in beside me. "New investigative journalist, first day." "Daphne, lifestyle section editor, welcome aboard." The meeting flew by, but I caught Elliot glancing my way several times. When our boss announced we'd be partnering on a series about modern relationships, I felt a flutter of excitement I hadn't experienced in years. After the meeting, Elliot caught up with me in the break room. "So, partner, how about we discuss our article over coffee?" "We're literally holding coffee right now," I pointed out, smiling. I meant real coffee. The kind that doesn't come from an office machine and actually tastes like something other than regret. I hesitated, old fears creeping in. Elise, who had been pretending not to eavesdrop, suddenly appeared. "She'd love to," she announced. "Daphne hasn't had decent coffee in ages." "Traitor," I muttered, but couldn't hide my smile. "Perfect," Elliot grinned. "There's a great place around the corner. Shall we?" The cafe was cozy, with mismatched furniture and the smell of fresh pastries. We claimed a small table by the window, and conversation flowed easier than I expected. "So," Elliot said, stirring his Americano, "what made you choose lifestyle journalism?" "I like helping people navigate life's messier moments. Sometimes the right article at the right time can change someone's whole perspective." "Speaking from experience?" I paused, considering how much to share. "Let's just say I know what it's like to need guidance during tough times." "Fair enough," he nodded, not pushing further. "I specialize in exposing truth. There's something satisfying about bringing hidden stories to light." My phone buzzed, a text from Ava. "Olivia's looking for your new number. Says she wants to apologize. Should I give it to her?" "Everything okay?" Elliot asked, noticing my frown. "Just family drama," I replied, quickly typing, "absolutely not," to Ava. "Ah, the best kind of drama," he smiled. "Want to talk about it?" "Maybe another time. Right now, I'd rather hear about this series we're working on." We spent the next hour brainstorming ideas, our coffee growing cold as we got lost in conversation. Elliot's passion for his work was infectious, and I found myself opening up more than I had in months. "We should probably head back," I said reluctantly, noticing the time. "Probably," he agreed, but neither of us moved. "Listen, Daphne, would you like to get dinner sometime? Not for work, just us?" The question hung in the air, and for a moment I saw Gunnar's face, heard Olivia's mocking laugh. But looking at Elliot's honest expression, I realized something. I wasn't afraid anymore. "I'd like that," I said softly. Back at the office, Elise was waiting at my desk. "Well, how was coffee with the cute new guy?" "Professional," I said, trying to keep a straight face. "Completely professional." "Liar," she grinned. "You're glowing." "I am not." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Austin. "Heard about Gunnar and Olivia. You okay?" I typed back, "Never better, actually. Life has a funny way of working out." "Want to know the best part?" Elise leaned in conspiratorially. "Elliot's been asking about you all morning. Apparently he spotted you in the lobby last week and has been trying to figure out how to meet you ever since." I felt a warmth spread through my chest that had nothing to do with coffee. Sometimes the best things in life come when you're busy rebuilding yourself, when you're not looking for them at all. And sometimes Just sometimes, they come with really great coffee. Did you hear what she's saying about you? Ava burst into my apartment, waving her phone. I was in the middle of getting ready for my third date with Elliot, carefully applying mascara. Who's saying what? I asked, though I already knew. Olivia had been unusually active on social media lately. Your cousin is telling everyone you're unstable. She's saying you had a breakdown after Gunnar left, and that's why you got promoted, because people felt sorry for you. I set down the mascara, taking a deep breath. Of course she is. That's not all, Ava continued, pacing. She's been talking to your Aunt Helen, spreading rumors about how you're trying to sabotage her relationship with Gunnar even though they broke up. My phone lit up with a text from Elliot. On my way. Can't wait to see you. Let her talk, I said, smoothing my dress. Anyone who matters knows the truth. But Daphne... The doorbell rang and Ava's eyes widened. Is that him? The journalist? I opened the door to find Elliot holding a bouquet of sunflowers. His smile faltered slightly when he saw Ava. I hope I'm not interrupting, he said. Not at all, I replied, taking the flowers. Elliot, this is Ava, my friend and occasional drama messenger. Ava, this is Elliot. Nice to meet you, Ava said, studying him. Treat her right or you'll have me to deal with. Noted, Elliot laughed. Though from what I've seen, Daphne's pretty capable of handling herself. As I put the flowers in water, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Austin. Heads up, Olivia's telling people she's going to crash your department's charity gala next week. Says she has proof about something. Everything okay? Elliot asked, noticing my expression. Just my cousin being... my cousin, I sighed. She's threatening to cause trouble at the gala. The one we're covering for the paper? Elliot's journalist instincts seemed to kick in. What kind of trouble? Who knows? She's probably just trying to get attention now that Gunnar's gone. Ava grabbed her purse. I'll leave you two to your date, but call me if you need anything. And Daphne, don't let her win. After she left, Elliot and I headed to the restaurant, a cozy Italian place he'd picked. Over pasta, he asked the question I'd been dreading. So, want to tell me about this cousin of yours? I twirled spaghetti around my fork. It's complicated. I'm good with complicated, he said softly. And I'm a pretty good listener. So I told him everything. About Gunnar, the engagement party, Olivia's betrayal. As I spoke, I noticed him taking mental notes, his reporter's instinct showing. And now she's spreading rumors? He asked. That's what she does. She can't stand that I'm happy without them. Elliot reached across the table, taking my hand. You know, as a journalist, I've covered a lot of stories about people like your cousin. They usually end up exposing themselves. What do you mean? People who constantly need to create drama eventually slip up. They get sloppy. Just then, my phone lit up with a series of notifications. Olivia had tagged me in several posts, each one more ridiculous than the last. Look at this, I showed Elliot. She's claiming I'm obsessed with her and Gunnar, that I'm stalking them online. We're not even connected on social media anymore. Elliot scrolled through the posts, his expression thoughtful. You know, this could be useful. Useful how? Every post, every lie, every attempt to hurt you, it's all documented. If she tries anything at the gala, we'll have proof of her pattern of behavior, I finished, understanding dawning. Exactly. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting someone dig their own grave. I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt something click into place. You're pretty smart, you know that. I try, he smiled. Now, about this gala, would you like to be my date? Officially? Officially? I raised an eyebrow. As opposed to? As opposed to just being my colleague who happens to be wearing a fancy dress and standing next to me all night. I laughed, feeling lighter than I had in days. I'd love to be your date. As we left the restaurant, hand in hand, I checked my phone one last time. Another message from Austin. Whatever Olivia's planning, be careful. She seems different lately, desperate. Elliot squeezed my hand. Everything okay? I looked up at him, at his concerned expression, and made a decision. I wasn't going to let Olivia's toxicity poison this too. Everything's perfect, I said. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. Let Olivia plot and scheme. I had something better, something real, and no amount of rumors could take that away. 6 months with Elliot felt like a lifetime and a heartbeat all at once. We were curled up on his couch, takeout containers scattered on the coffee table, when he suddenly muted the movie we were watching. "Move in with me," he said. No preamble, just pure Elliot directness. I sat up, heart racing. "What?" "Move in with me," he repeated, turning to face me. "Half your clothes are already here. You have a toothbrush in my bathroom, and I hate waking up in a bed without you in it." "That's quite a proposal," I teased, then froze as his eyes widened. "I mean, not a proposal, just a—" "What if it was?" he interrupted. "A proposal, I mean." The world seemed to stop. "Elliot," he slid off the couch onto one knee, pulling a small box from his pocket. "I've been carrying this around for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. But sitting here with you, eating leftover Chinese food and watching bad movies, this is perfect. This is us." Tears welled up in my eyes as he opened the box, revealing a simple but stunning emerald ring. "Daphne, will you—" My phone erupted in a series of aggressive buzzes, breaking the moment. Olivia's name flashed on the screen, along with multiple text notifications. "How did she get my number?" I muttered. "Don't answer it," Elliot said, still on one knee. "I'm kind of in the middle of something here." But the texts kept coming. Finally, I glanced at them. "You think you're so clever? I know what your precious Elliot's been doing. He's been investigating me, hasn't he? You're both going to regret this." Elliot read the messages over my shoulder, his jaw tightening. "She's right about one thing. I have been investigating her." "What do you mean?" He set the ring box on the coffee table and pulled out his laptop. "Remember all those work meetings I've been having? I've been gathering evidence of her harassment, her lies, everything. I was going to surprise you with it at the gala next week." "You've been investigating my cousin?" I stood up, pacing. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I needed your genuine reactions. If she suspected you knew, she'd be more careful," I finished. "Show me what you found." Elliot opened a folder filled with screenshots, recordings, and witness statements. There were messages from Gunnar to mutual friends about Olivia's obsessive behavior, evidence of her creating fake social media accounts to harass me, even footage of her trying to get into my office building. "She's been stalking me," I whispered. "And more. She's been telling people she's engaged to Gunnar even though they broke up months ago. She's been sending threatening messages to anyone who's friendly with you. She's spiraling, Daphne." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Elise. "Olivia just showed up at the office asking for your home address. Security turned her away, but be careful." "I should have told you sooner," Elliot said, taking my hands. "But I wanted to protect you, to give you concrete proof that you're not the crazy one here." I looked at the ring box on the table, then back at him. "Ask me again." "What?" "Ask me again. The question you were trying to ask before." He smiled, understanding dawning. Getting back down on one knee, he picked up the box. "Daphne, will you marry me?" "Yes," I said without hesitation. "Yes, I will." As he slipped the ring onto my finger, my phone lit up with another message from Olivia. "You'll never be happy. I won't let you." "Should we be worried?" I asked, showing Elliot the message. "No," he said firmly. "We have everything documented. If she tries anything at the gala, we'll be ready," I finished. He pulled me close, kissing my forehead. "I promise you, this time around, your engagement story will have a much better ending." "It already does," I said, looking at my ring. "It has you in it." We spent the rest of the evening planning, not just our future together, but how to handle Olivia at the gala. As much as I wanted to announce our engagement, we decided to keep it quiet until after the event. "Let her show her hand first," Elliot suggested. "Then we'll show ours." Looking at the evidence he'd gathered, I felt a mix of emotions. Sadness for the cousin I'd once loved, anger at her betrayal, but mostly gratitude for the man who'd gone to such lengths to protect me. "I love you," I said simply. "I love you too," he replied. "And Daphne, this time no one's going to take your happiness away, I promise." As we settled back onto the couch, my new ring catching the light, I believed him. This time was different. This time, I wasn't just in love. I was stronger, wiser, and most importantly, I wasn't alone. Let Olivia try her worst. We were ready. The day before the gala, Austin called me for coffee. His expression was grave as he stirred his latte, and I knew something was wrong before he even spoke. Olivia came to see me yesterday, he said, leaning forward. She's not well, Daphne. She's convinced herself that you and Gunnar are having some secret affair. I nearly choked on my coffee. What? She showed me evidence, doctored photos, fake text messages. She's planning to expose it all at the gala tomorrow night. But that's insane, I protested. I haven't even spoken to Gunnar since— I know, Austin interrupted. We all know. But Olivia's lost touch with reality. She's been calling everyone in the family, trying to turn them against you. My phone buzzed, a text from Elliot. Found something big. Meet me at the office ASAP. I have to go, I told Austin, standing up. But thank you for warning me. Be careful, he called after me. She's not the same person we used to know. At the office, Elliot was waiting with his laptop open. Elise and Ava had joined him, both looking concerned. Show her, Ava urged. Elliot turned the screen toward me. Olivia's been busy. She's created a whole website dedicated to exposing you. Look at the domain registration date. The day after we got engaged, I whispered. She must have been watching us, Elise said. Following you. That's not all, Elliot continued, pulling up more documents. She's been sending anonymous threats to the gala venue, trying to get it canceled. When that didn't work, she bought a ticket under a fake name. And Gunnar, I asked. Does he know what she's doing? Ava pulled out her phone. He just posted this an hour ago. It was a public statement from Gunnar. To address the rumors, I am not in a relationship with either Olivia or Daphne. Any claims otherwise are false. Please respect my privacy during this time. She's going to crash and burn, Elise said softly, and she's going to try to take you down with her. My engagement ring felt heavy on the chain around my neck, where I'd been hiding it. So what do we do? Elliot smiled grimly. We let her try. I've arranged for everything to be recorded tomorrow night. Every accusation, every lie, it'll all be documented. But that's not all, Ava added. We've got your back. The whole team will be there. Just then my phone rang, Olivia's number. I put it on speaker. Hello, cousin? Her voice dripped with false sweetness. Ready for tomorrow night? What do you want, Olivia? Just checking in, making sure you're prepared for your big exposé. You know, you really should have been more careful with your secret meetings with Gunnar. There were no secret meetings, I said firmly. You need help, Olivia. She laughed, the sound brittle and sharp. Oh, I'm not the one who needs help. By the way, that emerald ring looks lovely on you. Green was always your color. The line went dead. I instinctively grabbed the chain around my neck. She's been watching us, Elliot said, his face dark. For how long? Long enough, Elise replied. But we can use that. If she's been stalking you, it adds to the evidence, Ava finished. Makes our case stronger. I sank into a chair, the weight of everything hitting me. I never wanted this, any of this. Elliot knelt beside me. I know, but tomorrow night it ends, one way or another. We should post security at all the entrances, Elise suggested, already making calls, and have someone monitoring the security feeds. I'll handle that, Ava volunteered. My brother works for the venue's security team. As they planned, I felt a strange calm settle over me. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about stopping Olivia before she hurt anyone else. Tomorrow night, I said, standing up, we end this, but we do it my way. No stooping to her level. What's the plan? Elliot asked. I pulled the ring out from under my shirt, letting it catch the light. We let her make her accusations. Let her show everyone exactly who she is. And then we show them who you are, Elise finished, smiling. As we finalized the details, my phone lit up with one last text from Olivia. Hope you're ready for the performance of a lifetime. I looked at my team, my fiancé, my friends, my support system, and typed back, break a leg, cousin. You're going to need it. Tomorrow night couldn't come soon enough. The stage was set, the players were ready, and this time, I wasn't the one who would be blindsided. Let the show begin. The gala ballroom sparkled with champagne glasses and evening gowns, but all I could focus on was the ticking time bomb in my chest. Elliot squeezed my hand as we entered, his other hand holding a small USB drive that contained everything we needed. "She's here," Ava whispered through my earpiece. "Northwest corner, red dress. She's already had 3 glasses of champagne." "Security's in position," Elliot murmured. "Just stay calm and stick to the plan." I spotted Olivia across the room, her red dress a slash of color against the muted evening wear. She was talking intensely to Austin, who caught my eye and gave a subtle nod. "Ladies and gentlemen," our editor-in-chief announced from the podium, "welcome to our annual charity gala." "She's moving," Elise's voice crackled in my ear, heading toward the stage. I watched as Olivia weaved through the crowd, clutching her phone like a weapon. The editor was just finishing his speech when she reached the steps. "Excuse me," Olivia called out, her voice carrying across the room. "I have something to say." The crowd murmured as she climbed onto the stage. Our editor-in-chief looked confused but stepped aside, exactly as we'd planned. "Many of you know my cousin Daphne," Olivia started, her words slightly slurred. "What you don't know is what she's been hiding." Elliot pressed a button on his phone, and the large projection screen behind Olivia came to life. "You see," Olivia continued, pulling up her own phone, "I have proof of her affair with my fiancé, Gunnar." "Ex-fiancé," a familiar voice cut through the crowd. Gunnar stepped forward, looking uncomfortable but determined. "We broke up months ago, Olivia. You need to stop this." "No!" she snapped. "I have the messages, the photos." The projection screen suddenly filled with images, but not the ones Olivia had planned to show. Instead, there were screenshots of her threatening messages, security footage of her following me, evidence of her harassment. "What is this?" She spun around, facing the screen. "No, this isn't. I had different pictures." "You mean these pictures?" Elliot stepped forward, projecting a series of clearly photoshopped images. "The ones you created to frame Daphne?" The crowd gasped as evidence of Olivia's deception played out on the screen. Her fake social media accounts, her doctored evidence, her increasingly unstable messages, all of it exposed. "You," she pointed at Elliot, swaying slightly. "You did this. You've been spying on me." "No, Olivia," I said, walking toward the stage. "You did this to yourself. Every threat, every lie, every attempt to hurt me, you documented it all yourself." "Liar!" she screamed, lunging for me. Security guards appeared instantly, gently but firmly restraining her. "I have one more thing to show everyone," Elliot announced, clicking to the final slide. It was a video compilation of Olivia's recent behavior, trying to break into my office, harassing my colleagues, even her confrontation with Austin yesterday, where she'd threatened to destroy me. "This isn't fair," Olivia sobbed, all pretense crumbling. "You stole everything from me. Gunnar was supposed to be mine." "I didn't steal anything," I said softly. "You betrayed me, remember? At my engagement party?" "And then you moved on," Gunnar added, stepping closer. "You told everyone we were still together, but you're the one who ended things." The room had gone silent, watching the scene unfold. Olivia looked around wildly, seeking allies, but finding none. "Security will escort you out now," our editor-in-chief said firmly. "And Olivia, consider this a restraining order warning." As the guards led her away, she turned back one last time. "This isn't over, Daphne. You'll see." "Actually, it is over," Elliot interrupted, pulling me close. "And we have something to announce." I reached for the chain around my neck, finally pulling out my engagement ring. The crowd's attention shifted as I slipped it onto my finger. "You're engaged?" Elise exclaimed, playing her part perfectly. "When did this happen?" "Recently," I smiled, looking at Elliot. "We were waiting for the right moment to announce it." The room erupted in applause and congratulations, the ugly scene with Olivia already fading into background chatter. Austin approached us, shaking his head. "That was quite a show," he said. "Are you okay?" "Better than okay," I replied, leaning into Elliot's embrace. It's finally over. As the gala returned to its celebratory atmosphere, I caught a glimpse of Olivia being escorted to a taxi outside. For a moment, I felt a twinge of sadness for the cousin I'd once loved. "Don't," Elliot whispered, reading my expression. "You gave her every chance." He was right. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let toxic people face the consequences of their actions. As I turned back to the party, to my friends and my future husband, I felt lighter than I had in years. The truth had finally set me free. The morning after the gala, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. News of Olivia's meltdown had spread through our family like wildfire. I was having breakfast with Elliot when Aunt Helen called for the third time. "You should probably answer it," Elliot said, sliding more coffee my way. "She'll keep calling." I picked up the phone. "Hi, Aunt Helen." "Daphne, her voice cracked. "I owe you an apology. We all do. We believed her lies about you, and I'm so ashamed." "It's okay," I said, but she cut me off. "No, it's not okay. Olivia showed up at my house last night after the gala. She wasn't herself. We had to call for help." My stomach dropped. "What kind of help?" "Medical help. She's being evaluated at Memorial Hospital. The doctors think she's having some kind of breakdown." Elliot reached across the table, taking my free hand as I processed this information. "There's more," Aunt Helen continued. "Gunner's here. He wants to talk to you." Before I could protest, Gunner's voice came through the phone. "Daphne, can we meet? Please? There are things you need to know." I looked at Elliot, who nodded encouragingly. "The coffee shop on 7th, 1 hour," I said, then hung up. "Want me to come with you?" Elliot asked. "No, I need to do this alone, but stay close." He kissed my forehead. "Always." An hour later, I sat across from Gunner, 2 untouched coffees between us. He looked tired, older somehow. "I should have told you sooner," he started. "About Olivia's behavior after our breakup, the stalking, the threats, the lies she told everyone. Why didn't you? Why didn't—" "Shame, mostly. I was embarrassed that I'd left you for that." He ran his hands through his hair. "She started getting possessive, controlling. When I tried to end things, she threatened to hurt herself. And you believed her? At first. Then I realized she was manipulating me. But by then she'd already started telling everyone we were still together. When I met someone new, she went ballistic." My phone buzzed. A text from Elise. "Olivia's being transferred to a psychiatric facility. Family only allowed to visit." "I saw the videos Elliot collected," Gunner continued. "The way she followed you, harassed you. I should have warned you." "Yes, you should have," I agreed. "But that's not why you wanted to meet, is it?" He pulled out his phone, showing me a series of threatening messages from Olivia. "She sent these last night after the gala. She's planning something for your wedding day. I thought you should know." I read the messages, each one more disturbing than the last. Threats to expose the truth, promises of revenge, increasingly unstable ramblings. "She won't be able to do anything," I said. "She's getting help now." "Don't underestimate her," Gunner warned. I did, and look what happened. Just then, Austin rushed into the coffee shop looking frantic. "Daphne, you need to see this." He held up his tablet, showing Olivia's social media page. She'd somehow posted from the hospital, a long, rambling post about how she'd been set up at the gala, how she had real evidence she'd reveal at my wedding. "She's not giving up," Gunner said quietly. My phone rang. Elliot. "Are you seeing this?" he asked when I answered. "Yeah, Austin just showed me." "I'm calling in some favors at the paper. We're going to get a restraining order, make sure she can't get near the wedding." Gunner stood up. "I should go, but Daphne, I really am sorry, for everything." After he left, Austin sat down in his place. "The family's in shock. No one knew how bad it had gotten." "I did," I said. "I just didn't want to believe it." My phone buzzed again, Ava this time. "Security at the hospital says Olivia's demanding her phone be returned. She's getting aggressive." "What are you going to do?" Austin asked. I looked at my engagement ring, thinking about Elliot, about our future. "We're going to have our wedding, and if Olivia tries anything, she'll have to get through all of us first," Austin finished. Back home, Elliot was waiting with takeout and a determined expression. I talked to the paper's lawyers. The restraining order will be ready tomorrow. Thank you, I said, curling into his arms. For everything. Hey, he tilted my chin up. We're in this together. Whatever she tries, we'll handle it. As we sat there, my phone kept lighting up with messages of support from family and friends. Each one a reminder that I wasn't alone anymore, that love was stronger than hate. Our wedding will be perfect, Elliot promised, because we'll be together. He was right. Let Olivia plot and scheme from her hospital bed. This time I had truth on my side, and truth, as they say, is the best defense. Are you ready? Elise asked, adjusting my veil. Through the church's window, I could see guests arriving, security guards discreetly positioned at every entrance. More than ready, I smiled, touching the emerald ring that would soon have a companion. Security checked everyone coming in, Ava reported, rushing into the bridal suite. No sign of Olivia. She's still in the facility, Austin added, poking his head in. I just spoke with Aunt Helen. They've increased her supervision after she tried to leave yesterday. My phone buzzed one last time before I'd have to turn it off for the ceremony. It was a message from Gunnar. She's safe and supervised. I'm making sure of it. Be happy, Daphne. You deserve it. Time to go, Elise announced, taking my phone. No more drama. This is your moment. The church doors opened, and my father took my arm. The familiar wedding march began, but this time, everything felt different. Right. Elliot waited at the altar, his face lighting up as I appeared. Our guests stood, smiling, supportive. Family and friends who'd stood by us through everything. Halfway down the aisle, a commotion erupted near the back doors. My heart stopped for a moment, but it was just a late guest dropping their program. The security guards didn't even flinch. You okay? My father whispered. Perfect, I replied and meant it. Elliot took my hands as I reached him, his thumbs brushing over my knuckles in that familiar, comforting way. Dearly beloved, the officiant began, but was interrupted by the church doors bursting open. Everyone turned, expecting Olivia, but instead it was Aunt Helen, looking flustered but relieved. Sorry I'm late, she whispered loudly, sliding into a pew. I had to make sure everything was taken care of. I caught her meaningful look and understood. She'd stayed at the facility until the last possible moment, ensuring Olivia couldn't interfere. The ceremony continued, and when Elliot said his vows, his voice was steady and sure. Daphne, you showed me what real strength looks like, how to face darkness with grace and emerge stronger. I promise to stand beside you through whatever life brings, to protect our happiness and to love you more each day. My own vows came easily. Elliot, you came into my life when I'd lost faith in love. You showed me that true partnership means facing challenges together. I promise to cherish our happiness, to fight for our future, and to love you completely. As we exchanged rings, my emerald engagement ring now paired with a simple gold band, I felt the last shadows of the past fade away. I now pronounce you husband and wife, the officiant declared. You may kiss the bride. Elliot pulled me close, and in that kiss was every promise we'd made, every obstacle we'd overcome. At the reception, Austin clinked his glass for the toast. To Daphne and Elliot, proof that love doesn't just survive adversity, it thrives on it. And to family, the ones we're born with and the ones we choose. Elise followed with her own toast. As Daphne's best friend, I watched her rebuild herself from heartbreak. Elliot, you didn't just love her. You understood her strength, supported her growth, and helped her find justice. You're the partner she deserves. During our first dance, Elliot whispered, Look around. Everyone here chose to support our love story. He was right. The room was filled with people who'd helped us get here. Ava, who'd coordinated security. Austin, who'd bridged family divides. Elise, who'd never left my side. Even Gunnar, who'd finally done the right thing. As the night went on, my phone remained silent. No dramatic interruptions, no threats, no chaos, just love, laughter, and celebration. Ready to go? Elliot asked as the reception wound down. Our honeymoon flight would leave in a few hours. Almost, I said, pulling him aside. I need to tell you something first. His eyes widened as I whispered in his ear, then he broke into a brilliant smile. Really? You're sure? Found out yesterday, I grinned. Wanted to wait until we were married to tell you. He pulled me close, his hand resting protectively over my still flat stomach. A new chapter, he murmured. The best one yet, I agreed. As we said our goodbyes and headed for the exit, rose petals raining down, I realized something profound. Olivia hadn't just failed to destroy my happiness. She'd inadvertently led me to it. Every scheme, every lie had pushed me toward this moment, toward Elliot, toward true love. Sometimes the worst betrayals lead us to our best beginnings, and sometimes the happiest endings come not from revenge, but from living well, loving deeply, and letting go. This was my story now, and it was just beginning.